Hi everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformer Studio Series, the leader class, Soundwave with Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage. You can see them there in front of the box. Go ahead and put them off the side real quick and take a look at said box. And yep, it is a leader class Studio Series box. You got the Transformers logo right here. You got the blue band for Studio Series. Transformers the movie logo right there, and the Soundwave and Buzzsaw, their names right there, and Hasbro. And up here, of course, you have their pictures of Laserbeak, Soundwave, and I guess there's Buzzsaw right there, and there's Ravage, and you got 28 steps to transform, I guess, Soundwave. And then on the top here, you have Transformers the movie, Soundwave, and Takara Tomy and all that stuff. And then on the side, you have an up close picture of Soundwave and I guess Buzzsaw and Transformers the movie. And on this side you have, hey look, there's an extension of the image, and there's Autobot City, I guess, burning in the background of the leader class right there. And on the bottom you have, of course, what's included, manufacturing details and what's included. And on the back, of course, you have copyrights, warnings, and a bunch of product shots. And hey look, Soundwave sends its cassette troops on a spy mission, and hey, yeah, look, there's that thing, which, yeah, the funny thing, which is, yeah, that's clearly, hey look, there's a YouTube thing right there, play. Whoops, they just grabbed that from YouTube, and nobody noticed until, of course, a fan base noticed. Whoops. Shame on them. Anyway, on top of that, you, of course, you have the instructions, of which there's a lot because, well, you got multiple figures, although two of them are identical to transform. But yeah, there's quite a few about that. But, you know, there you go. So, Studio Series Soundwave, Studio Series Ravage, Studio Series Laserbeak, and Buzzsaw. Getting close on them a bit. Yep, this is very much a Soundwave, another Soundwave with a, yep, there's a very Soundwavy head with the red eyes from the cartoon. You got the little yellow border around that. You got the Decepticon logo. You got more blue, gray with the red stripes. You got more of the gray and the plate, you know, the buttons right there. You got the yellow and silver right there. Got the bit of the backpack, but you know, it's kind of necessary. You also got extra buttons, huh? Weird. There's a little button right there. But yeah, it's there's definitely arguments about the shade of blue, but yeah, this seems to be the one that Hasbro and Takara are settling on as the official correct cartoon color shade of blue, which is, that's a fun argument to have. Ravage here, you can see, well, it is a black and silver, looking, very cassette-ish thing. You can see the spools right there, little reels right there on that. But yeah, it looks vaguely like a cassette, well, kind of, if you squint and turn your head a bit. And of course there's Buzzsaw and Laserbeak, which, you know, pretty much are the same, except different colors. And you can see, again, the spools on this side and everything, and they're kind of cassette shaped. So yeah, this is the way they're all packaged, which is why they're like this. So it's kind of fun time there. Just, you know, this is the way they're all packaged. I have to deal with that. But yeah, generally Soundwave here looks really good. But the thing, of course, is, well, is he worth getting? Because, well, this is another attempt at getting a, I guess, proper Soundwave, and another attempt at these three as well. And for some people, it's just, I just buy one? Yeah, you might have, considering, yeah, what was it? Yeah, the tail end of Legacy they released, well, the Netflix Soundwave with a bunch of cassettes, and yeah, as a leader, and yeah, a little bit of a thing there, to say the least. That's the thing. I'll say he does look good, but it's one of those things like it's worth getting this one, considering if you already have a similar, say, the Netflix Soundwave or whatever you want to call them now. Yeah, that's kind of where things are a little questionable. But yeah, as for posability on this guy, of course, head, ball joint, left and right, up and down. Kind of, there's a little bit of waggle, but yeah, it's a little stiff on mine. Shoulders, of course, can do a full 360 right there, outward right there. A lot of outward, actually. And of course, there is a bicep, or not bicep, what am I saying? Butterfly joint. It's a bit tight, but yeah, the butterfly joint right there, like that. And for the there's also transformation joints. You can then go backwards as well if you need to. Right there. You do have a bicep swivel, which is really tight. You have a double jointed elbow. It's kind of weird though, but yeah, there is a double jointed elbow right there, so you can, you know, do a full curl. His hands right here are on swivels. You can, you know, wrist swivel right there. There's a hinge right there for the fingers. So you do have a waist swivel right there, unhindered. Hips right here, there's a hip skirts right here. You can go forward that far. Backwards, you get this thing out of the way a bit. You can go backwards that far. You can accidentally push that in. Go outwards, more than the full splits. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's one thing, is you can push these in a little too easily. Yeah, right there, you do have a thigh swivel right there. Knees can bend 90 degrees, and of course, yeah, they do stop right here. They don't go any further than that. Down here, yeah, so knees 90 degrees, and then down here at the feet, you do have ankle tilts, well, 90 degrees of tilt right there. You do have a swivel right there, and you do have forward right there on this thing. You have some forward, not really back though, because, well, the panel. Unless you want to open up this panel. And then you can get some back. But then the problem is, yeah, then you got the panel open. It's kind of useless anyway. So there's that. So yeah, actually pretty darn solid posability overall for him. I'm kind of figuring this out because, like, well, these guys are pickers as tape mode, so I have to kind of do the posability a little bit later. But yeah. As for accessories, of course, these guys, all three of them can fit in the, you know, thing right here. Although sometimes they get caught. Yeah, you can just fit into the bit right here, right there, like that. Opens that up right there. You can, yeah, press the button right there. There's also, of course, some detailing in there, if you can see that. For that, all three of them fit, although I notice Buzzsaw in particular doesn't like to. Buzzsaw in particular doesn't like to. Laserbeak is fine, so it's kind of interesting. And yeah, of course, Ravage right here can also fit just fine. So all three of them fit, no problems. So there's that. Accessories, of course, he includes his shoulder cannon right there, which you can just plug in to a shoulder. It's supposed to. And then he's got his gun here, which, yep, you can push this part and slide it out. And, oh dear, that's sideways. For some reason, someone screwed up somewhere. Now this thing is sideways. I saw someone somehow modify it. I don't know what they did, and I'm scared to try myself. This looks like it comes apart in some way, so it might be they did something. It looks like this thing, something. I don't know, but it looks like they might have done some serious cutting away. But you can still hold it, even if it's, you know, sideways and incorrect, so you can still hold it in. There you go. There's that. And of course, this thing is somewhat blast effect compatible, I think. Maybe. Yeah, kind of, although that's kind of stretching out over top of it, but yeah. I also shrunk that a bit. There we go. So there's that. That's for it for his accessories. Trying to figure out how to do this bit. Yeah, the fact that he's in package in alt mode and he's in robot mode is kind of throws things a little bit. Right. So for him, yeah. So for him, his height, for measurements, his height to the top of his head is 6 3/4 inches or 17.1 centimeters. And his weight is 5.6 ounces or 160 grams. A bit on the light side for a liter, but you know, there's these guys as well. You start adding up all the weights and it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of closer to normal liters somewhat. And as for the measurements for these guys, in tape mode here, they're 1 11/16 inches or 4.5 centimeters wide right here. For all of them. Yeah, and as for the weights, the Laserbeak and Buzzsaw are each 0.3 ounces or 8 grams, and Ravage is 0.4 ounces or 10 grams. So that. I'm going to focus on the tapes a bit, so yeah, a little bit longer, but yeah. Tapes here are, you know, pretty decent again, but yeah, some comparison stuff here. Just for the sake of everything. Here these two are with, well, yeah, this is the Netflix Laserbeak, just to give an idea there. Very different. Bit different in this tapes thing. As to say, there's an argument of which of these is better of the two. There's that. As for Ravage, here is the, again, the Netflix Ravage, which, yeah, I would say Netflix Ravage is definitely a better tape mode. But yeah, so there's that. Now, comparisons with these rest of the Studio Series 86 tape, Decepticon tapes. Yeah, here's, right, here's Rat Bat, and then, of course, Rumble and Frenzy. You know, whichever one is which. So there's the tapes as a whole, the Studio Series 86 tapes. There's all that. Yeah, of course, there's with Soundwave himself. Which, by the way, yeah, of course, these guys are still compatible. Yeah, you see, there's compatibility there. Although, yeah, Rat Bat's still a bit of a pain, but yeah, he still fits. So there's that. Here's the tapes. Stuff. Now, for Soundwave himself, getting this back up a bit. For Soundwave, I'm going to leave those guys there too. Here's Studio Series Megatron. Just to get an idea there. Yeah, Megatron's obviously a bit taller. And here's the Netflix, my old Netflix Soundwave. Right there. Who's shorter. That's the other thing is, yeah, this Soundwave is taller because they kind of made some adjustments to the scale, which for better or for worse. But you can also see the guns there are, yeah, they turn it 90 degrees for no good reason. Also, yeah, my Netflix Soundwave, I think, is definitely yellowing as much as I kind of want to be in denial about it. I think it's yellowing, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the other thing. His guy can tilt his shoulder cannon. He can't. There's that. So I think I figured that out. So first things first, before I can transform Soundwave here, I'm going to transform these guys down here a bit. For that, you also need some of the accessories as well. So, because focusing on Ravage, for him, what you want to do is you want to take this bit right here, you want to take these and fold this forward, and fold these together, and they'll peg together like that. Then right here, you want to go ahead and bring these bits out right here, legs out right here, and bring these legs out like this on this hinge. You want to rotate right here at the ball joint, 180 degrees. And you bring these legs down right here like so. You go ahead and rotate this leg right here like this and bring it down. Rotate and bring it down. You can use that ball joint and use this joint right here to basically adjust how he sits a bit. It's kind of a hinge right here. Yeah, you can want to adjust this how he sits a little bit. If you like, just a hinge right here as well. For that brings all that together, so you can, yeah, you can bring those forward and yeah, adjust that stuff like so. It kind of looks like that. Then right back here, oh no, there's no tail. Well, right here, you got this bit right here. These two bits, these little missile things, and those you attach. Here you see there's a little. You know, the peg and the hole. Peg that on and peg this on. And right here, this tab right here will go into a little slot right here. Yeah, that means that the peg, yeah, is going to just kind of sit on top of him like that. Oop. Didn't quite peg it in. There you go. Yeah, that peg right there is going to sit on top like that. Now he's got a tail. And there you go. That's pretty much Ravage in his alt mode. Or, I guess, yeah, cat mode. Put them outside right now. We're going to focus on, well, Laserbeak. I'll just do Laserbeak real quick. And then, yeah, with Laserbeak, what you do here is unfold this wing right here. Unfold these wings right here, like so. You take the feet here and you bring them down like this. And like this, you bring them down. And then you bring the wings back like this. And then you bring the head out right here, like so. Like that. And then from there, what you want to do is there's, well, a couple of these. You take these two of these bits, make sure they're, you know, they're the mirrors like this. Take one of these things, and you just peg them together like this. Make sure the peg there's, the big peg is facing backward. And these little pegs right here will go into the little pegs holes on Laserbeak. And there you go. There's Laserbeak in his bird mode, and you do the same thing, of course, with Buzzsaw. Just, yeah, go fast, just burn through that, you know. Unfold those, bring down the legs, bring these back, and then bring up the head. And then, of course, assemble the backpack thing eventually. Assemble the backpack thing and then just peg that onto his back. And with that, you have Buzzsaw in his bird mode. And yeah, and there's the 3 tapes transformed. And you can see transformed they are decent. Ravage is definitely, I think, the better Ravage than between this and the previous one. You'll see that in a second. But yeah, these two are kind of very much in that weird thing of like a lot of people feel the previous version of this mold was better. Although It's kind of one of those weird things where it's like, I think visually these are better, but they definitely decided to sacrifice some things for the sake of those visuals, you know? There is that. For posability though, you got, they got this hinge right here on him. Ravage, you don't really have much of anything. If you tilt this, you pretty much are, well, tilting everything, essentially. It's kind of weird. You can tilt the head up and down, kind of, but yeah, you also got this stuff you have to be mindful of. Is technically movement here, but it's kind of limited because if you if you add the curvature right here, the movement here is kind of limited. You do have outward right here, although if you do move these outward, you do kind of free that up a bit. You do have this hinge right here, which like that. Right here, back here, you do have again these legs here are going to kind of split a bit, although this thing kind of gets in the way of that. And you do have this hinge right here, and I guess the rockets can move up and down a bit, and you have the tail zeros on hinge. Yeah. Oh yeah, because of if you also move these out a bit, you can also rotate this a bit as well because of the ball joint. So yeah, you do have some degree of movement. It's just kind of weird because like all the locking mechanisms and stuff kind of make it a little weird for him to in general. He's just kind of weird if you with the locking mechanisms make him a little bit weird to deal with, to say the least. Yeah, is that. As for laser beacon buzzsaw here, well, yeah, pretty much the wings can kind of go forward a bit. That they can flap down a bit, but the problem is, well, then they're not standing, and you can't really stand anymore. So there's that double hinge there, and right here at the neck, you have they can look up and down a bit, and they can move way back like there, but that's it. There's not really a whole lot. Oh yeah, these guns are somewhat blast compatible as well, so there's that. So yeah, kind of limited posability, but they're not like the previous version exactly had a whole lot of going on for them either. Yeah, so there they are. There's Soundwave, and that's the other thing. There's no real like perch point for like the either the birds on Soundwave. There's no like perch point or anything, so just be mindful of that. There's like, yeah, it's like some people thought maybe this tab, but like it doesn't really work. That was the thing I was wondering about that, because like, yeah, it's this tab, but yeah, that doesn't really work very well with the as far as I can know anyway. Well, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't really work, unfortunately. Thought it did. Some people hoped it did, including myself, but yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah, it doesn't really work. I mean, it kind of works. It kind of works. So yeah, maybe there is a perch point of sorts. Yeah, that little tab right there kind of works, but not great. So just don't rely on it as a thing. Don't rely on it as a perch point, but you can use it as a perch point, I guess. Sort of. So here they are. In regards to these ones down here, here's we have Ravage and Laserbeak from before. This is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, the Ravages down here again. Yeah, you can see the Ravages are, yeah, there's definitely, yeah, I would definitely say the new one is better than the old. This one is kind of, meh. As for over here, you can see, yeah, this is where it's kind of a, it depends on what you're looking for, because yeah, the back end here is like weird looking for this Laserbeak, but he's got the fully integrated thing, but he doesn't have any guns there, versus they have the more screen accurate backpack and guns. So yeah, it's kind of a weird crapshoot on that. It's like what you're looking for, you know. So there's that. Bring these guys back in. We're gonna back up a little bit, and of course bring in the other Studio Series tapes. So here's a Rat Bat, which, yeah, this one's weird because they didn't change the mold at all. They just added a backpack. And here are the dudes. Name whichever name you prefer. So yeah, there they are as a whole. So there's all that. Oh, by the way, and the measurements for the tapes in this mode, the length The birds are each about 1 7/16 inches or 3.7 centimeters, and Ravage are 2.5 centimeters or 2.5 inches and 6.3 centimeters. And the wingspan of these two is 4 inches or 10.1 centimeters. So there's that. So I'm going to get the tapes here off to the side because we're going to look at, well, Soundwave. That was one last thing I forgot. As for, yeah, storing these bits right here, if you have them in tape mode, you want to store them. I did notice, yeah, you can, rotate this, like these pegs right here. So like this will peg on right here like this. Like, if you want to just store them, they will peg on. You can do the other one, buzzsaws or whatever on this side as well. As for Ravage's thing, I was trying to sit there and trying to figure that out because like there's this peg, but there's also this tab, and everything just kind of interferes a little bit. And I was trying to figure out like a good place to like peg this in. Again, yeah, you can still, I guess you can use that, but then of course then there's like, well, you put the other one, and I found that weirdly enough, this right hole, it holds like this hole right here. It's not a peg hole officially, but it does kind of work. It does kind of grip a little bit. It's not great, but it does kind of grip. It's just kind of funny how it actually kind of grips somewhat decently. Somewhat. I say somewhat because it's not super strong and doesn't take much for it to fall. I just wish there was like another peg hole right here or something just so I could. But as it stands, yeah, there's only 2 peg holes really, 2 free peg holes, unless you maybe. Yeah, there's only really 2 free peg holes, so like yeah, you can only store 2 of the 3 accessories easily. So that's a little disappointing. Almost forgot to mention that part, but yeah. Anyway, so transformation for Soundwave here. Now to get this off the side. Transformation for Soundwave here. So first, of course, get this gun off this gun off, and then this right here, of course, collapse this in. On mine, unfortunately, it doesn't take much for it to uncollapse, so just be mindful of that. Now here. Take right here, want to open this panel up right here and then rotate the hand inside and then close it up like that. And same thing, open that panel up, rotate that inside and close it up right there. And then right back here, you want to go ahead and take these panels and flip them back like so. Then pick this panel, bring it back, rotate the head in and close this back up. Make sure it clicks back in. And this is where you to go ahead and take these bits. You have to do it a very specific way too. Because you see these slots right here are going to line up with these tabs, and you have to make sure the red stripe is on the bottom for both of them. Which is annoying for this one because, again, this thing has a tendency to kind of make itself loose. You want to plug them both in. It doesn't matter which side you put it in. Yeah, plug those both in all the way, and then you can take these and tab the panels into those like that. And it's kind of like batteries. Yeah, just kind of plug them in like that. And then right here, we're going to go ahead and rotate at the waist 180 degrees and take the arms here. You want to then untab them and bring them back like this. Bring them back like that. Just kind of have them just chilling out right there for now. Now down here at the waist, what you want to do is the waist. Right down here below the waist is you want to go ahead and take this, open this panel up, then open this panel up right here. Rotate the foot 180 degrees. Bring this panel right here on the bottom of the foot. You want to bring that down, collapse the foot in right here, and then push this thing in like that, and then close this panel up right there like that. Now same thing on this side. Open this panel up, and then open this panel up. Rotate 180 degrees. Bring this panel down. Fold the foot into there. Close this up, and then push this in. From there, what you want to do is then bring this up right here, and then bring these flaps out right here, like so. Then rotate the thigh 90 degrees and bring it up, and then bring this up right here. And this right here, you can see this tab right here, we're going to the slot right there, like so. And then this, you can see that right there. This right here, this is supposed to kind of slide over top, but yeah, you can then take the arm here, and there's that tab right there. I'm going to the little slot right there. Again, rotate this, 90 degrees, and then bring it up and around, like so. Again, just make sure to tab it all in. So, and then this will tab into the back like there. You can see that like that. You go ahead and bring this part down right here. like that. And just make sure to push that all in like so. Make sure everything's lined up. I almost forgot that right there. Also, there's also kind of a tab and slot right there as well. Now make sure you have all that done. You pretty much have Soundwave in his tape deck mode. So yeah, that's the tape deck. It sure is. Yeah, sure is a micro cassette player. Mostly cartoon-ish accurate. There is some bits like these should not be blue. These, I believe these should actually just all be silver or gray or whatever, like this stuff, but it's not. You can see there's also unfortunately some gapping right here. It's not perfect. Again, you can see it's just like on the back here. You can see just just stuff right here. You can see the the robot mode stuff. You can see that the that last. It's not perfect. It's from the front. It looks pretty good, but yeah, it just kind of falls apart the second you look at it from literally any other angle but the front, which is a little disappointing. But I'm not sure what you'd expect from a mainline or a retail figure. But yeah, of course this still works right here. You can still open that up and close it. Everything. If you want, you can still have one of these in the tape mode and still. You can still put one of these in tape mode and still put it in there. You can still put it in there like that if you want. Yeah, there's really not much else on that one on the right in front to say. It looks pretty decent, I guess. It is, I think, and generally an improvement over the previous Netflix Soundwave. But it's not that big of an improvement, and it's not that big of an improvement. That's kind of where we're at. Now, as for measurements for this guy, in this mode, his width is 4 7/16 inches and 11.3 centimeters. So yeah, there is that. As for some comparisons, considering we already compared all the tape guys, I'm going to skip over that. But yeah, here's the Netflix. So I'm going to be consistent. Yeah, the Netflix Soundwave, which again you see the yellowing, but it's kind of a you can see. That's the thing about these two is you can see this guy still got the vestigial weirdness from the original Siege version, which was not a tape deck and everything. And it's just this one's a little more plain. The deck was a little more plainer just because that's how it was in the cartoon. So there's that. You got that stuff, and this is. I think this again. You can see this one generally looks better from the front versus this guy who's a little iffier looking in general. And on top of that, he's got this bit sticking out on the side versus they're flattened out here. So I think this guy is a bit of an improvement, but now he's not a big improvement. So that's what it comes down to. So should you buy this guy? And the question is, well, did you buy the Netflix version? And that's the thing. Is your Netflix version yellowed? Yeah, you might want to go ahead and replace him with this guy. I don't know what you're going to do with the old one, but you might want to go ahead and replace it with this guy after your Netflix version yellowed, like mine seemingly has. Did you buy the more recent release, the leader class release with the buzzsaw and everything? If you did, well, you might actually want to go ahead and you might want to consider skipping this version because to be blunt, I don't think this is that big of enough of an upgrade. If you just bought that version, if you bought that Legacy United multi-pack, leader class multi-pack, this isn't a big enough upgrade to justify. If you don't have that, or again, if your Netflix version or whatever is super yellowed or whatever, then it's worth picking this guy up. At leader class is $60, but it's barely worth it, I would say, but it's worth it. But if you already have if you're happy with your Legacy United version, there's no reason to get this, honestly. It's not that big of an upgrade. I personally think it definitely is overall better. I think the tape guys are generally mostly overall better. The two birds are not quite a huge improvement, but Ravage is definitely an improvement, at least in his cat mode versus tape mode. The tape mode, that's a weird one where the old Ravage I think is better in tape mode, but The Soundwave, I think, is generally overall an improvement, but it's not a huge improvement. It's not big enough improvement to really justify spending another $60 if you are happy with the previous release. So, yeah, that's where kind of we're at. But if you don't have the previous release in any form, then yeah, definitely go for them. If you have your old Netflix version is yellowing, might want to consider getting this guy. If you have the more recent release, what was the Legacy United or the whatever that Takara, I can't remember what Takara Tomi's little weird line is called now. Whatever it's called, I don't remember. The DCS was the acronym or something. I don't remember. Well, yeah, that other thing, their real special, like, super premium paint job version they did. If you have that one, then yeah, there's really no reason, unless, of course, you want the tapes. But even then, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. So that's kind of where we're at. It's just simply, it's a minor upgrade, and it's not a big enough upgrade to really go for it, unless, yeah. Again, like me, your Netflix Soundwave has clearly kind of seen better days. If that's the case, then yeah, go for it. If it hasn't, well, if it's not the case, then, well, you can go ahead and skip it. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Ko-fi and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.